Hey YouTube, it's Thursday the 20th of December and this is the latest Total Nintendo Magazine flick through. This is issue number 5 and it was published in April 1992. It's the May issue, and as you can see it's the issue where the Super Nintendo hits the UK streets. And so yeah, it's a nice front cover on this one, the Super Nintendo, very nice looking machine. So you got an advert there for Hook on the NES and Game Boy. That's by Ocean. Contents page. Total Talk. The Super NES is here. It says, at long last, after dozens of launch dates, setbacks and bring forwards, Nintendo 16-bit Super NES has finally arrived in Britain. The £150 machine boasts state-of-the-art sound and graphics chips, and will come bundled with 2 joypads and the superb Super Mario World cartridge. You'll be able to use the SNES on a normal TV or plug it into SCART and composite video TVs and monitors. This is an important event in the history of video gaming, and we think you should know all about it. Whether you intend buying one or not, after all, you don't want to seem like a total dweebhead when everyone starts talking SNES stuff. Read on and gen up. So it gives an insight there on the 8-button joypad. Obviously the 2 shoulder buttons are new to NES. And it's got the best game in the world, Super Mario Brothers. It's got a little feature there on Pilot Wings. And up the top there, it's got looks like R-Type and Super Soccer. So that was a 2-page feature on the release of the SNES. Moving on, we got some more star gamers there, and that's Kirsty Hawkshaw, Opus 3. Kirsty was recently introduced to the delights of the Game Boy Tetris and was instantly hooked. Unfortunately, the poor girl and her dog exist on just £20 a week, and she reckons she can't afford to buy a handheld. Hopefully the success of Opus 3's It's a Fine Day should bring in enough dosh for 20-year-old Kirsty to go and lash out on some hardware, pretend it's a fashion accessory cursed. The Nintendo Game & Watch styled LCD game watches there. There's an advert there for Medlantic High Tech UK Limited. A few bits of news on the Game Boy. Some new games coming out, Blades of Steel, Turtles 2. Another phone advert there. Letters pages. So there's a few letters in here. There's a letter from Phil Kesari, Rupesh Pandya, S.O.N. Gopinda Kashal. Baseball 2000 down there on the Game Boy. Turtles 2 on the NES from Konami. A few more letters there on the left. Some more letters again on the left. And I always liked this Game Boy holster. I always used to like the look of it. I never got one in the end, but it's by Conix. A few drawings there by the readers. There's a Konami advert. And the first SNES review in the magazine, F-Zero. Released by Nintendo, price to be announced, and they gave that a grand 91%. They said it looks stunning, graphics give you a real rush of stomach churning race course fear, and sounds, they gave it what's here is excellent, especially if you listen in stereo. Tunes are a bit weird. Gameplay, an ace racer this, you're going to need all your skills, speed and guts to get around. And the lifespan, they give it 3 leagues and 3 difficulty levels to sort the men from the boy racers. So a nice 2-page feature on F-Zero, and then the 2-page feature on Super Tennis. They get 96%, so that's another grand game. I know Darren Walshock has got this. I think he likes it as well, so I'm sure he would agree with that score, or at least somewhere near. Super NES Compo. Win 50 Super Nintendo systems, so you've got to guess these screenshots here. So there's one for the Game Boy down there, and these ones are NES. well, NES screenshot and a SNES screenshot. Not quite sure what those are, but they're in the magazine somewhere. See if we can spot those along the way. NES reviews. So Super Mario Brothers 2, I gave that 79%. I do like the colours in this magazine, they're quite stand out. Super Mario This Is Your Life, run down on all the Super Mario games, so Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3, and the SNES and Game Boy ones there, including Dr. Mario. New Zealand Story on the NES by Ocean, 93%. New Ghostbusters 2 on the NES, this is by HAL Laboratory Inc., 52%, I want to avoid. Rainbow Islands, 92%, classic game. Rescue, the Embassy Mission by Kemco, and that's for the NES, that's just given 48%. Gremlins 2 for the NES by Sunsoft, that's 73%. I do like this artwork down here of Andy, or I think it's Steve, looking like a gremlin. An advert there for Amiga Power and Acne. I used to buy that at my comic actually, it's quite fun, brought back a bit of a memory. The Game Genie by Hornby and Codemasters, release price £40. So I think that gives a rundown on the Game Genie there. Sega Power magazine ad, Game Boy reviews. So Castlevania 2, 90%. Faceball 2000, this is a 4-player link-up game and they give that 93%. Got an achievement to get 3D on the Game Boy. Ishido, 68%. Dadalian Opus, 45%. Turrican, great game on the NES, and they give it 79% for this conversion on the Game Boy. That's by Accolade. Asteroids, and that's one of the photoshops, one of the photos in the Win the SNES compo, looks like, at the Asteroids. They give that 55%. Red October, they give that 40%. Red October is by High Tech Expressions, and Asteroids is by Accolade. Dr. Franken by Elite, 91%, so that's one worth tracking down. Bit of an advert there, and then we go to the tip section again, Game Boy and NES. Bit of a rundown there on the rooms in Fortified Zone for the Game Boy. Maniac Mansion on the NES, the solution. Got a big one, that 23 lots of tips for that. Kid Icarus on the NES, tip there. Enter this password to get to the last stage with infinite lives. BU, UU, UU, UUU, 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 UUU. Hope you got that. Thanks to David R. Parker of Bunden Hall in Coventry for that. Quite a mouthful that was. Super Mario Brothers 2 NES Tactics, levels 6.1 to levels 7.2. Question and answers. So a few readers wrote in there for some tips on their problems. And looky here, it's got me, Lee Chapman, Leicestershire. I've only just noticed that. I forgot about all the ones I've written in, so it's quite nice to see that actually. It says, Dear Steve and Andy, in Boulder Dash I have got to World 3 Level 4 and there seems to not be enough diamonds to collect. This is so because they are mostly surrounded by walls. How on earth do I get them? They've got the NES screenshot there, but I played it on the Game Boy, and their tip is push a boulder over the wall you want to destroy and stand under it. When the monsters go by, drop it and crush them, and obviously that explodes and gets rid of the wall. So their reply is, Dear Lee, this one had me stumped for a while too. You probably noticed that when you kill monsters they explode into a shower of stars. Well, if you kill them right next to a wall, the resulting explosion knocks all the blocks out. Easy. So that's very nice to see that. And then we've got the rundown of the reviews here, Total Recall section on the NES and Game Boy games. And then they've gone on to do a bit of a feature, the same feature on the joysticks. Sub-offers on the next month's page, so this is going to be in the next video. On the Game Boy, Turtles 2 Missile Command Kickoff. On the NES, Turtles 2 Snake's Revenge, Road Fighter, Mega Man 1, 2 and 3. Super NES, Super Soccer, Super R-Type. So that's the May issue, well at least the June issue. This is the May issue. Special Reserve advert at the back, and an Elite advert on the back there for Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja on the NES. So that was issue 5, the SNES release date issue from May 1992. Thanks for watching, leave your comments below and I'll be back soon with issue 6.